What would you say? And because we have a lot of audience members that have struggled with addiction,
Yep.
and these days you can't even like. Who doesn't have somebody that's in their family or something that struggle with addiction?
Sure.
But what suggestion or like just advice or thoughts would you give to a young person who has a parent who has alcoholism as to how to navigate that? Because I even get messages a lot from people that are like, hey, my dad is struggling or this, what do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here, you know? Do you have any thoughts on that? And it's not like you're a specialist.
Yeah, no,
I know that.
I'm not a specialist. I mean, here's what I try to do. I mean, take this for what it's worth. But number one is you gotta, if you're a kid and you're in an environment where there's a lot of addiction, you gotta make sure that you're taken care of, right? Like, don't get yourself in such a situation where it's not just your parent that is struggling, but it becomes you that's struggling too, right? Because you can't help them out. You can't help them out unless you're able to take care of yourself first.
Right.
Right. That's number one. I think number two is, as hard as it is, man, and shit, I know this very well because there were times when I had some very angry moments with my mom. Don't get resentful and try to keep your heart as open as possible. Right. You got to compartmentalize a little bit, right? There's the addict version, but then there's the version that, that read you a book when you were a kid, or there's the version that took you to, your favorite movie, or you try to hold on to the memories that are completely divorced from the addiction. Because I think if you allow yourself to become totally resentful, then it doesn't just affect them, it starts to affect you too, right? Don't allow your parents' addiction to become something that destroys your life too. In other words, is you got to kind of keep your soul intact here. I mean, just practically go to those NA meetings. I mean, I learned more about mom and her addiction going to those NA meetings, and I didn't always, it's not like it was like some eureka moment. There's, I'm not pissed off at you anymore.
Right.
But you at least understand it a little bit more, and you gain some appreciation for what's going on in their life, because that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And you also think about NA meetings is just, again, it is human nature and all of its splendor, its virtue and its vice, man. It's just
some dude
real
was selling
life.
a boat. The last one I went to, some dude selling a fucking boat at one of them.
It's exactly.
And we're like, you can't, dude. We're trying to get off of drugs, dude. And some guys started bidding on the boat. I'm like, and they had made him take it outside, because it's outside issues or whatever. But it was like, what is even happening here, dude? I was in a meeting. Some guy had a fish hook stuck in his freaking cheek, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, yeah.
Man.
He had 2 weeks clean.
Yeah. He'd either had a really bad night or a really good night. Maybe both. Jesus.
Yeah, who knows what happened. God dang, it's just like, all right, dude. Catch and release, brother. Catch and release. He probably had tried to come across the border. And I only say that because we've had a couple of Border Patrol agents on here, and so we've learned a good bit about it over the years.
No, I had a Border Patrol agent who's clearly.
Before you go, but I just that statement about trying not to be resentful against your parent, because that resentment is the seed that can lead you down some of this or activate some of the same behaviors in you. It's not, and I'm not preaching that, but it can activate a lot of resentment. It's an evil seed.
No, that's right.
And so many bad things can happen there, because that's an important message. I never thought of that or heard it before.
Well, and what you said earlier about not getting into a negative spiral, I think is really important. Just psychologically. I mean, look, man, I know you had a tough life in a lot of ways. There are certainly some moments in my life that were pretty tough, but I've never, again, I'm not an expert. I've read some books on this stuff. This is not JD Vance's expert opinion. This is just a guy talking. I really worry that a lot of the mental health stuff in 2024 is about like focusing so much on what's bad in your life that you end up wallowing in it, and it becomes a sort of self-reinforcing spiral. Like, there's only so much you can, if bad shit has happened to you, there's only so much you can do to think about it and process it. And sometimes bad shit happens because it just happens, right? And there's no like rationalizing, there's no like thinking through it. And what I've always found like is most helpful is getting outside and going for a walk. Like that made me feel way better than trying to understand why did mom do this thing when she was 13 or when I was 13 years old and she was, you know, I guess 39, 36 she would have been when I was 13. But like, why?
Right, still harping on it. Yeah,
you just,
I got to go for some walks then. I mean, I go for them, but still, sometimes you got some ghosts, man. But
I mean, and I've got ghosts too,
right.
man. But
it's like the longer you sit there and look for ghosts, it's still ghosts. It's still a ghost,
and it's almost like you find more ghosts,
right?
And you keep on finding them, and then it's like, all right, man, I need to go like hang out with my buddies, go for a walk, and have a drink. Well, you know, not if you're dealing with addiction, but like have a drink of coffee, just like.